I'm literally loading up the car. You never get a phone call till your hands are full. It's Mrs. Farmer Joe. She said, I need to get in touch with Farmer Joe right now. Okay, I'm not down there yet, but Tyler's down there. Give Tyler a call. She goes, okay. Then she calls me back and says, the cops are here. And I'm like, whoa, what? The cops are here. Someone called about the range, and now the cops are here to do an inspection. I hop in my Subaru after loading up all my guns and ammo, all of my guns and ammo. I get over there. It usually takes me about 4.5 minutes to get to their house. I get there. I'm coming down the hill. Sure enough, there's Tyler, Farmer Joe, and there's 2 cop cars, and the 2 cops are out of their cars. This is going to be great. So I drive down the hill. I go around the cop cars, and I pull up, and I said, hello, friends. I was like, are you guys here to shoot? Cops laughed. That's a good sign. So we're talking. Apparently, someone in the area, not the neighbors we like, not the neighbors who tell us that, hey, by the way, one of your chickens is frozen, solid. Can you come get it? Not the cool neighbors. Someone called and said, hey, they're shooting on this land and they're shooting improperly, or the range isn't up to standard. There is no HOA. There is no HOA. We were literally on 10 acres shooting at targets that are in front of a berm, and the berm, the elevation is like 30 feet, maybe more. And so the cops were like, yeah, this is enough acreage. The berm's fine. You know, I think they were concerned about what you guys were shooting. Look, I've been Ladarius on that range one time, and I haven't been back as Ladarius since. There's a reason. Ladarius is like that rap video from Vidor, Texas. Hold on. Ladarius is kind of like that one of them boys that we don't like here in Vidor. Ladarius, look, Kingsley can come by, he can't stay the night, but Ladarius can't even walk into this town. These are obviously younger deputies, and I recognize the last name because I know his brother. I was like, by the way, does your brother happen to, work with you? And he was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, okay, what year did you go through the academy? And I talked to him. And I said, oh yeah, and by the way, I said I would like a card with this call number on it. Because every time 911 is called, there's a call that's generated that has everyone's information. The caller's information, the address, the time of day. I was more specifically interested in the caller's information. They were like, oh, you want a card with the non-emergency number? And I was like, no, I want one with this specific call number on it. That way I can follow up if need be. I think they knew what I was doing, but the one deputy went back and wrote down the number and gave all 3 of us, the call number so we could reference it if we ever have to call back in and say, hey, just so you know, we're going to be firing a belt fed, not full auto, but with a force reset safety, completely legal. So yeah, that's how my range day started. And I cracked the joke that, wow, the one time after all these years that we've been shooting, the one time the cops are called, the black guy's not there.